This is Luca Majno here with Frank Gregory Ford once again. This is Global News Update on TLB TV, courtesy of the Liberty Beacon Project, where we give you complete, backstage, and up-to-date info as to the developments occurring in our world today. It's good to have you back, Greg, for another show. How's California doing today?
Hey, California's in fine form, although we've got runaway fires burning people out of their homes by the hundreds. But other than that, though, you know, and that's directly connected to the aluminum oxide and the blue lasers, okay, that have been, you know, initiating all those fires in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties.
Right. So
okay.
now we have the whole eastern side of Santa Barbara.
I just wanted to say, right, you've got it. And another thing too, I would like our listeners to add this to the thinking equation, the thought equation. All right. Now, if you notice where these big fires are, they're all close. They're all close to on the one side of the coastal range, okay, in California. They're on that side, the ocean side. And also something that I need everyone to think about is all this radiation from Japan. Okay, notice how it's all come to the coast, and you're getting absolute runaway fires. All right, these fires are pyroclastic fires, folks. So we have chemtrail spraying, which, yes, it is happening, because remember that those planes are going through controlled airspace. All right. So NORAD knows all about these chemtrails and what's in them, okay, and where those chemtrails are being sprayed on, all that aluminum oxide, okay, which is an accelerant for fires, and also radiation. When heat like this hits radiation, what does radiation do? It goes crazy. It goes nuts, okay? So here, I'll tell you what the government won't tell you, folks, is right now, virtually everybody in the United States, thanks to Fukushima and also the chemtrail spraying, amounts to this. We are getting a massive, severe dose of rampant gamma radiation in this country. Okay?
Yeah.
Does everybody know what that means? What it means is we're all being irradiated to the point of death, okay? And the thing is yeah, what is it? Agenda 21? Is that what you say, Luca?
Agenda 21. Yeah.
Right. It's bringing us into the kill zone. Most Americans, 258 million Americans, are in the kill zone now, while our population is being reduced to 65 million. That's the target number. Anybody contest that? Feel free to call in and challenge me and call me insane. All right? Nuts, crazy. Now, you know who calls me up and says I'm nuts and crazy? Okay. It's the U.S. government, folks.
Right.
And what can you say about that? The U.S. government says I'm nuts and crazy because I said, hey, there was massive industrialized torture going on in Abu Ghraib, Iraq, and it's still going on. It's still going on a massive scale. And I think you saw that. You saw some of that evidence today. Am I correct, Luca?
You are indeed, and that's part of my snapshot. Actually, yeah, that's coming up.
Great. And by the way, that one fellow, what was his name?
Vince Emanuele.
Vince Emanuele, thank you. Vince Emanuele, I actually did a show with, a presentation speech. And he's the one who said, yes, this guy, pointed to me and said, he's the one who should be hosting this show. He is the man who stepped forward and did absolutely the right thing and never backed down for a second from our government. He said that, and it was good to see him again. So anyway, sorry.
Since we're on the subject, I may as well share some quotes with him because we have his picture now that we're showing. And I just wanted to lift a few quotes from his show. And all you have to do is Google him or YouTube him, and you'll find him. These are quotes from him. He says, "The military as it stands now is a monstrosity. We are pretending that the military as we know it, there are, job programs, education, job training, etc., when in essence the military is an institution for death and destruction, taking 18, 19-year-old kids, putting them through 13 weeks of boot camp, then 8 weeks of job skills training, future training programs. And after all those weeks of training, people are ready to kill because that's what you're there for. You kill on command. That's what the machine is meant to do. The mindless machine turns you into a mindless machine to follow orders. That's basically what the military is all about. You don't think for yourself." And then he goes on to say that the people in the Middle East are referred to as sand niggers, towel heads, camel jockeys, barbarians, terrorists. And if you think about it, it's exactly the same thing as the people in this country at the time of the invading not too long ago had names very similar to those: savages, prairie niggers, beasts of the forest, uncivilized animals, squaws for women. Squaw means slut, basically. He says that women in the Marines today are known as WMs, walking mattresses. 1 in 3 women come back from the military reporting sexual trauma. And as far as killing being worth it, we saw that in Iraq. Remember Madeleine Albright saying that killing 500,000 or more Iraqis was well worth the price. So today that's what we do. That's what they did in Iraq when they went there: murdering, beating, raping, free for all. That was his quotes that I lifted from the 8-minute video, or the 40-minute version if you want, from YouTube.
Yeah, Madeleine Albright, you're right. And the intrigue has not even begun to come out about Madeleine Albright, Luca. Yeah, no, you're right. We consider her in the business. What was it? A middle-aged frump, okay? Middle-aged frump with a horse face, okay, something like that. And the disaster that she has been responsible for hasn't even begun to hit the media yet. Okay, folks, you're going to hear it, but it is truly amazing.
Wow.
So what I'd like to hear about, Luca, and I think everybody would like to hear about, is how the Cherokee Nation, my tribe, all right, the graveyard in Tahlequah has about several hundred of my family members in it, okay, from the Wolford group of the Tahlequah, what is it? Muskogee Creek Cemetery, okay, in Oklahoma. All right. So I take it really personal when I find out now that my tribe is being ravaged by opium addiction. Okay. Opium addiction is going on. And funny thing is they are trying to stop it. My tribal members are trying to stop it. And they were just told today that they cannot sue the pharmacies, the pharmaceutical companies, and they know which specific pharmaceutical company that's out in San Francisco, all right? San Francisco, that is responsible for inundating the United States with cheap opium from Pakistan and Afghanistan, okay? Right, Hillary Clinton, right? You hired them, okay, Hillary Clinton? Okay, I hope she's watching. I really do. That's what kind of desperate situation we have right now in the Oklahoma territories on the Rose Reservation in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. All right. So I'm going to keep everybody apprised because this affects everyone. We're getting 100 addiction deaths a day. All right. Hey, that makes a war, active war, look like nothing. 100 people are dying a day from opium addiction. Of opium coming into this country? No, it has more than doubled. Right, CIA? The amount coming into the United States has more than doubled from this time last year. So I'm sorry, Luca, go ahead. And I'm sure everybody wants to hear this snapshot But I want everybody to be thinking about this opium issue.
No, it's really, really important. And who started the drug war, right? And this is what's so ridiculous. No, I'm gonna wait on that until I share it with you on Snapshot. We're gonna share screens, and we're gonna start Snapshot with this: 5 of Orwell's nightmares have come true. Dumbed down, indoctrinated, socially engineered, drugged, brainwashed, and robbed by Big Pharma, and being tricked into thinking that the US is a democracy when it's not. It's a corporate oligarchy. So there's a lot to be said for what Orwell had predicted. This is what I was just going to say about Chicago. Look at this, Greg. This is how it starts. Officials call for UN peacekeepers to be deployed on Chicago streets. Really? Isn't this exactly how it starts, right? They create the drug problem. Hello, CIA, like you just said, Greg, right? Then they have the solution that they bring in. All it takes to set up and put it in place, just like, you know, they start the drug war and then they have use that excuse to come in martial law style. So we'll see how Emanuele deals with that one. The way I see it, there are only 2 options. Citizens stand together to end corporate power, or corporate greed brings the end to human civilization, which is what they want. They want to wipe out over 90% of us. And this is the foundation of the problem, I believe, or one of them. Since the Jews are the highest and most cultured people on earth, the Jews have the right to subordinate themselves to the rest of mankind, and to be the masters over the whole earth. If you can wrap your head around that and that way of thinking, that's a lot of the answers of a lot of the problems that we have, because that's actually what they think. You know, they think that they're better than everybody else, and that's where the octopus is, and that's where the tentacle legs come out of, and you know, it just never ever ends. And Greg and I could have a show about this, you know, once a day for you know, the rest of our life. The people that did 9/11 are the same people doing the spraying. And when you wrap your head around that, they're all the same. They all have the same agenda behind them. They will call us crazy until they find out that we were right. I don't particularly like the mask myself, because I always say that truth doesn't have to be masked. This is a good example of how superior that these goons think that they are. Mr. Jeff Rothschild says, in order to finalize the New World Order process, we need a 3rd World War to exterminate 90% of the global population. This will resolve the problem of human overpopulation, as well as putting an end to civil disobedience. We will then proceed to automize industry and create a globalized feudalist system in the name of saving our planet. I suppose he thinks that the planet is his, right? If you repeat a lie often enough, they say it becomes truth.
You know,
but this young kid likes to say it becomes politics. I thought that was priceless. And to lean us into something that you wanted to talk about, Greg, first of all, I got to throw this in. Barry Sherman and his wife, Honey, were found dead in their Toronto, Canada mansion, and police suspect murder-suicide. Of course, it isn't. And then you find out that there was a long history of battling with Big Pharma. So Dr. Barry Sherman was indeed, according to Health Nut News, constantly battling Big Pharma. The bodies of Bernard Sherman, 75, also known as Barry, and his wife, Honey, 70, were found around noon Friday in their mansion in the New York City district of Toronto by the police, who arrived there after a 911 call. Reports are their bodies were hanging side by side. Okay, so, you know, everybody that knows them, family and friends, are saying absolutely not. This cannot be a murder-suicide. All of a sudden you hear about, you know, Dr. Dean Lorich, right, who's set to expose the Clinton Foundation corruption in Hawaii, found dead. That's what you wanted to bring to the show, Greg. Is that right?
That is correct. A fellow physician, certainly. And by the way, I did confirm, yes, he was found with a large a butcher knife from his kitchen rammed into his chest. Okay. Now, for those who don't understand the dynamics of something like this, very seldom do you commit suicide by stabbing yourself in the chest. It's almost unheard of. All right. So very clearly, because of the emails that were found on Hillary Clinton's emails, all right, and the fact that he sent a letter to the UN demanding to know where that funding went for the relief of those Haitian refugees, that's what happened, is he ended up becoming, it isn't real suicide now. I want to make that perfectly clear. All right, this is kind of the joke. I think everybody has a joke about this stuff now, about Hillary and Bill and being Arkancided. Okay, that's called being Arkancided. Now, in this case, it's a tragedy. Everyone who knows U2, the group, rock group U2, and Bono.
Yeah.
Well, Bono, last year, he was in a very bad bicycle crash, almost killed him. And that was the man, all right, Dr. Lorich was the man who actually did the surgery that saved Bono's life. Okay? So obviously he wasn't too depressed about any of this. And he was murdered by one of the goons from the Bill and Hillary traveling we have there. And I, of course, have something I mentioned last week. My goddaughter was murdered by a pedophile, and I'm finding out now it was filmed, the whole process of her being molested and strangled, all right? The film is now on its way, or actually has arrived, with one of Hillary's pedophile groups, okay? That's where that footage was actually traced to, all right? And I just found out, yes, the murderer, who was now caught, thanks to largely to me, he was caught, and he is in jail now. And funny thing, he's basically a low-life drug peddler, drug dealer, and a pedophile. And what an army literally of lawyers that have shown up to defend this dirtbag. All right. Now, as I said, where would a dirtbag find these, $800 to $1,000 an hour lawyers to get him out of the clink, the county lockup? Okay, where would he find that? All right, it's because he is a pedophile, and just like James Comey, whose film now has come up, okay, on YouTube, of him raping a 12-year-old boy, okay, he has the same protection. He doesn't need the FBI to protect him. He's got Hillary Clinton and her 5 rings of pedophilia. The 5-ring group, okay, there they are, and they are protecting James Comey. And what do we have? We have the Mossad. It figures the Mossad would be involved in this.
Of course.
Okay. The Mossad has now actually live footage of Donald Trump, okay, molesting 13-year-old Elizabeth Roberts, okay, and she was pretty terrified, and she allowed it to happen, certainly, okay, forcibly being raped, because Donald Trump had beaten another 13-year-old to death very shortly before. And she was informed that she would get the same treatment, okay? Then we have James Comey, all right, raping a 12-year-old boy. Funny, what do they have in common, folks? They have Hillary Clinton in common, okay? Does it get any more straightforward than this, all right? So, yes, and then I find out, what is everybody terrified about with the testimony of Michael Flynn, General Flynn, who I actually used to work for at one time back in the dream time. Michael Flynn is going to be testifying about the pedophile rings used in intelligence work to control and compromise certain politicians. All right, certain politicians, people that annoy the government, or annoy, the kleptocracy. Okay, that's what they do. That they use, and it's much bigger than you ever thought of. And until my goddaughter was murdered, hideously murdered last week, I realized and I found out that Sacramento, California, is the center of all white slavery, basically in the world, and pedophilia. Gee, what an overachievement we have just gained, all right, in California. So, yes, I've got a lot to talk about tonight, Luca. I hope everybody's listening.
Yeah, it's just you keep cutting out quite a bit.
Yes, we are in the middle of. Now, why would that be?
I wonder.
Okay, it's funny whenever I have a very sensitive show. Okay, I start cutting out. Why is that, Luca?
Coincidences, right? Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Okay, my last show, I informed all those people that lost children in the Oklahoma City bombing, okay, of the Alfred Murrah building.
Right.
All right. Well, it's time you file a great big lawsuit. You can do it as a class action suit against the CIA. All right. And here's why. It's because now we have the person who turned down the contract to murder those people in the Murrah building, and how it was all connected. You folks think that Timothy McVeigh was responsible? No. How do you spell Patsy? Okay. And also, this is rather startling. It turns out that in the Waco disaster, okay, typical Waco government operation. Well, here, listen up. Okay, I'll tell you this to substantiate what I'm saying, folks. Is Timothy McVeigh was the person who delivered the night vision goggles to the special forces teams the night before the next attack that happened the next day, where they were all incinerated. Well, here's some startling news. Okay, they weren't killed the next day. All those folks at Waco, they were already dead. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right. That's what we have here. They were already dead, and the night vision goggles were given to the special forces teams to specifically and strategically destroy those buildings that they were in, starting from the top floors down. And they did it with machine gun fire, M60s. Okay, specifically, I'll give you a breakdown if you want. All right, and how they were killed. The M60s can shoot right through the building. That's a 308 round. Okay, since you're into weaponry now, Luca, you can be aware. Hey, 308 shot from an M60. What? 300 yards, 200 to 300 yards. They completely raked the top floor, next floor, and the bottom floor. And by dawn the next morning, there was no one alive in Waco. All right, there was no one alive. They say they had some people escape out the back. Right. Want to talk to them? Ask them about it. There's what, 4 survivors, and they're in the Supermax in Colorado. You want to talk to them? Be my guest, because by the time that engineering vehicle breached that wall and started pumping in gas, well, first of all, the gas was explosive, and secondly, no problem. That gas would drive out normally. If you were alive, that would drive you out of a building. Okay, and by law, when you use tear gas, as supposedly they did, you have to provide an exit for the victims. By law, you have to do that. It isn't, well, we've decided kind of stuff. No, you have to provide an exit for those victims. They were already dead. Did you see them running out the back? Okay, in a panic? No, because they were already dead. So guess what? They were immolated. That was the next deal. And the person who brought him the night vision goggles, the NVGs, well, that was Timothy McVeigh, because he was already working for the government, at the time. they say that he was all upset about Waco. Forget it. He wasn't upset. He was contributing to the massacre at Waco. And then what happens? He gets caught, supposedly. I'm telling you all this, and I can just hear the pucker factor in government officials and the FBI. All right? Supposedly he designed the weapon that took out the Murrah building. Oh, please, cut it out, as I love to say. Cut it out, government types. Remember, yours truly went to the demolition, explosives, and booby trap school, bombs and booby traps, okay, in North Dakota, all right? And who do I find when I get there? Oh, surprise, federal officials are there at the school trying to figure out how Mr. McVeigh built that bomb that cut the Murrah building in half. It was cut in half, okay? Well, I knew right away, because I know what ammonium nitrate, especially tactical military-grade ammonium nitrate looks like, how it explodes. That wasn't in that van that supposedly blew up. First of all, it's not that powerful, okay? And the testimony that I heard, that man knew exactly what he was talking about, all right? Yes, Cody Snodgrass did know exactly what he's talking about. Yes, he was an expert in that field, and he said, nope, it wasn't. It was something extra special that was put in and designed a certain way using compressed gas, sheets of marble, and specific designed shaped charges, high-speed, high-oxidative charges. There were 3 weapons in that building. One went off, cut the building in half. The building was supposed to have been pancaked down on all the files for about 400,000 veterans that had been disabled and actually were suffering severe field combat issues from nerve gas in the Middle East, in the Gulf War, okay? Notice how that's all gone by the wayside? That's because they destroyed most of the nerve gas that victims from the Veterans Administration. Look, people, what I'm trying to say here, don't join the military. Don't let your loved ones join the military. If you've got employment problems, go stand in line. Get welfare. You paid for it. Go get it. Don't let your loved ones get some hideous disease, which they're going to die from. And if you don't believe me, ask me, because I started the burn pit syndrome movement that is going on now. All right? So what we have here, folks, is the government looked around and said, how can we keep all these veterans from having to get money from all the horrific war wounds they've received as a result of us? Well, okay, and that includes the radiation issues from all the tanks that were destroyed in the first Gulf War, okay? Depleted uranium, they call it.
350 tons. 350 tons.
Right. So then you ask yourself at this point, well, why would they kill all those children? What monster would do that? Well, you're going to feel better, folks, that especially all of you folks that lost children, okay, lost your little loved ones, all right? The government did a study. They did a study. It's called psych warfare study. They did a study. How can we maximize the effect of this to make everybody want to go fight terrorists? We're going to fight terrorists, okay? Well, they did a study, and absolutely, positively, they wanted to kill your little children, your children in that nursery specifically. That's why the bomb was placed where it was, to make sure your little children were vaporized, okay? I can't make it any simpler than this, all right? Go sue the goddamn CIA, all right? They thought it up, and on top of that, on top of everything else, all the evidence of the Clintons' drug running, all the opium, drug running, cocaine, drug running of the Bush family. Remember those child-loving Bush family members? Remember this Franklin scandal? Hey, they love your kids, okay? and they love blowing your kids up too. Well, look that up, folks, because yes, all those drug issues of smuggling in Mena, Arkansas, guess who did that? Guess who ordered the CIA to set the contract out to demolish the Murrah building? Any ideas, Hillary? Bill? Any ideas? Okay, I want it known that yes, they are responsible for ordering the Murrah building demolition and the slaughter of your children. Okay, I'll go toe to toe with anybody on that issue. All right, you've got it, folks. Okay, that I hope giving up your loved ones was worth it, so the Clintons could keep their $10 million a month that they were getting from all that drug running. Okay, and I've even got the banks that it was transferred to, the bank numbers and the banks themselves in the Caribbean, right? Wink, wink, right, Bill? Right, Hill? Okay, so there it is, folks. Now, on top of everything else, what do I find out? What is it about these Clintons? What is it about these Clintons? You know, I mean, I'm even nauseated. After all I know about these Clintons, I can't stand these miserable, evil, vile sons of bitches. Why aren't they on death row? So I'll close this off with Oklahoma City because guess what? Timothy McVeigh, he wasn't there. He wasn't the one who set that bomb off. Okay? Yes, shades of Oswald, isn't it? Okay? Patsy,
so.
how do you spell it? Okay? Well, who signs the death warrant for Mr. McVeigh? Uh-oh, my goodness. The irony is unbelievable. It's Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. And funny thing was, I was in Kansas, I believe it was Kansas, when the when the death sentence was going to be carried out. But I was in Leavenworth, Kansas. Okay, I actually stopped by the death chamber. Okay, we had a nice little tour of the place. So what happened was I got to see who was scheduled to die in the death chamber. Did I happen to see Timothy McVeigh's name at the top of the list for federal executions? No, he was about 400th. Okay, Timothy McVeigh was down way at the bottom of the list. But something magical happened. Excuse me. Something really magical happened. Bill Clinton swore he would execute Timothy McVeigh, and he managed to get him jumped to the top of the list. Well, as I understand, Timothy McVeigh was told, don't worry, it's okay. We're going to just put you to sleep, and then we're going to revive you, okay, after we lead you out of the room, put you in a secure place. You're good to go, Tiger. Hey, send mom some money, okay, because mom was in the execution room, too, watching all this. So your mom's going to get a big chunk of money, and this is all going to come down like a movie, okay? Well, okay, this is what happens when you trust the government, folks, is they feel it's all right to go ahead, make a deal with you that they don't want to keep, and then they just execute you. There goes one liability right out the window. He was executed. He wasn't guilty. In fact, he was downright innocent. And Bill and Hillary get off scot-free with their millions of dollars in a bank in the Caymans, Grand Cayman to be exact. Okay, so then we have, okay, as I started to say, what is it about the Clintons? I just gotta love those tousle-haired scamps. You know, what did John Podesta say? The worst thing about working with Hillary is she smells so damn bad. Okay, what did he say? She smells like farts, cabbage, and old urine. Okay, what? And I don't know. That's downright disgusting. Okay, but then again, the Podestas now are being investigated for pedophilia, along with the Clintons. Okay, right. So then we have something that everybody should pay attention to. Okay. This is going to blow your hats off if the Oklahoma City uh, um, bombing contract that was led by the CIA and the Clintons. Okay. Remember who was president when all this was going on. Now we have Benghazi. Isn't that a great name? Benghazi. Okay. And I just happen to know, okay, because like I say, when you're in the intelligence business, you tend to work for a lot of people. All right. Well, I was told that something like this happened. Remember General Petraeus? Okay. Remember him? All right. He looks like every mother's son. Okay. You could just love that guy. You know, what do they call him? The Jimmy Stewart of Department of Defense. Okay. Right. You know, looks like a good old boy. It wouldn't be up to any no good at all. He's 100% all-American. Well, let me see. How did this story go? So John McCain says, "Oh, God bless General Petraeus, okay, for the urge to surge in Iraq, right? And it supposedly saved the day. Right. I've got a bridge in Brooklyn for you too. Wink, wink. Okay. So General Petraeus, all right, gets offered the job. What job did he get offered? Okay, after organizing all those death squads in Samara and slaughtering all those people. When I was in Samara, I know about this. He and the Negropontes organized Shia death squads in Samara and slaughtered the Sunnis. I mean, talk about a bad way to go. Can you imagine, Luca, what it's like having somebody hold you down and take a chainsaw? I want everybody to listen to this. This is our kinder, gentler interrogation procedures. Took a chainsaw and sawed your arms off at the sockets, right up to your armpits, all right? I know because I went down to the front gate in Samara at the request for the doc to show up at 3 in the morning, and there was a man with his arms sawn off, all right? That's what General Petraeus helped start. He and the Negropontes, okay? Death Squad John Negroponte, hey, he set up the whole pedophilia, high-tech pedophilia rings for the agency. That's how you everyone can find out what poor little orphans are available so you can feed your sexual appetites in Cambodia or Romania, okay, or Argentina. It was the Negropontes who set it up for the agency. So what we have here is General Petraeus, all right? Remember him. Go look him up, okay? If you are wondering who he is. General Petraeus sets up all the death squads, and then he gets the hell out of Dodge, along with L. Paul Bremer, when I found out what a crook he was, all right? So General Petraeus becomes the head of, what does he become the head of? The DCI of CIA, okay? CIA, all right? It has an ominous sound. And I think everybody can hear now, if you listen very carefully, when they say CIA, there's always this ominous drum beat, of something about to happen. Ominous CIA, okay? What are they up to? Besides monitoring our show, okay? So in this case, all right, he becomes the director of the CIA. But, like most of his clowns, it's always sex, okay? It isn't like James Bond, okay, where they got a stunning woman every town they drive into. And Petraeus wasn't driving an Aston Martin DB11, okay? Actually, that model just came out. It was a DB10, okay? So he starts sleeping. Yeah, this is General Petraeus with his biographer, okay? And who's that? Well, the gal who's noted for her running capability, all right? And now she was noted for her running capability, but now she's noted for other things now. Get it? Wink, wink. Okay. Well, Paula Broadwell, okay, bless her little heart, okay. Well, there's something called pillow talking going on. And everybody's wondering, well, where's this pillow talk going? Well, it turns out that Petraeus, now he's DCI of CIA. People love their acronyms, don't they? Well, he carries a CHEMTRAILS system. See, more acronyms, okay? That stands for Combined Human Intelligence Management System, CHEMTRAILS, okay? I carried one in Iraq too, all right? And they are an effective system, okay? Well, when they were having all this pillow talk, he lets loose with Paula, okay, that the CIA is attempting to set up, Obama, to defeat his reelection. They were going to have a CIA contract team. Does everybody understand what I say, what I mean when I say that? Contract team, okay? It wasn't Al-Qaeda that attacked the intelligence annex in Benghazi. It was a contract team, okay? I think I said it clear and said it redundantly enough, okay, for everybody to understand. So what we have now is a contract team that is going in and going to take everybody hostage, including the ambassador, Chris Stevens, okay? Now, okay, all right, you can have something like this, something kind of juicy, you know, okay? You know, it's as juicy as a porterhouse steak, all right? So what Petraeus is telling Broadwell is this is going to happen. And what she actually gains access. He gives her his CHIM system. Oh my God, there is the security breach of all time, okay? And lets her peruse the CHIM system, which has this plot to actually wipe out the Intel annex, but take everybody prisoner. Remember Tehran, the Tehran embassy? Okay, what happened to Jimmy Carter? Okay, he was toast. Rainbow Jimmy ate it when the Tehran embassy was taken over. Okay, and by the way, they really were CIA. Okay, inside that embassy. I mean, Iranians aren't stupid. All right. So what we have now is the plot is out. Okay, the annex at Benghazi is being attacked by Al Qaeda. Dun 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 dun. There's a big drum roll here. Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda. Okay, well, it's not really Al Qaeda. It's easy enough to find out who they really were. Okay, so then what happens is Chris Stevens, who knew he was being set up, you know, to be a patsy. Okay, well, he starts sending out 100, 500 warnings, something like that, to get more security. Because here's the real grist to this whole story, folks, is there were about 10,000 separate munitions and weapons, rockets, missiles being stored there, okay? And the British had actually left their missiles there too, okay? All the missiles that they'd collected over Iraq, all right? And some into Syria, okay? They had collected all those. And here's the plum on that tree, folks, is Hillary found out that there were surface-to-air Stinger missiles in that batch, okay? 400 to be exact. And she cuts a deal where they were supposed to go to the freedom fighters. That part always gets me kind of weepy-eyed, okay? The freedom fighters, okay? Well, that's where they were supposed to go, all right? And Hillary gets them and then sells them on her own, okay? Cuts a deal with whoever paid her the $8 million sales commission. She got a sales commission, folks, from selling, you know, the missiles that you paid for that were supposed to go to freedom fighters. She sells them, okay? So we got to cover that up, right? We got to cover that up. So what you call in a contract team to wipe them out. Either take them hostage or wipe them out. Guess what they did, okay? They wiped out that annex. And you're thinking, oh, well, we didn't know. You know, Obama wouldn't let something like that happen. Here's the big joke, folks. On top of that, Mr. Obama was watching all of this on real time. When he found out that they were supposed to take prisoners and make him look bad, like I said, have you heard from Jimmy Carter ever since the Tehran embassy happened? No, you haven't. And so he found out that's what the plan was. That was the plot. So he said, let everyone in the intel annex die. Okay? Let them die. Hold up any kind of relief, any kind of security. You know how far they were from the main embassy? Okay, that annex? No one seems to know this. They were less than a mile away. They didn't see help for what? 6, 7 hours? 8 hours? They were being annihilated and pounded. Okay, by our own weapons, of course. All right, we have to add that part. That's what happened. Okay, what is this? You know, I give these people warning. Okay, what we're gonna do. All right, because all of these terrorist attacks, they're all ours, folks. Okay, they're all ours. Gladio A, Gladio B, Gladio C just started in Las Vegas. Okay, and I even told you about the training, Gladio C training. Okay, as in Jade Helm. It's already here. It's starting now. Okay. No, we do not want to start a war with North Korea. Who cares about North Korea? All right. Most people have no idea where North Korea is. They figure it must be close to South Korea. Okay. And then on top of everything else, what is going on? Okay. In the Middle East. Oh, all of a sudden we're in Syria with and getting rid of ISIS. We're fighting ISIS. Okay.
Please.
Eat my shorts, ISIS. Okay. You know, on top of everything, Mossad operative. Okay. I recruited him. Okay. Mossad operative who started up and just went directly to our intelligence people at Abu Ghraib prison and pulled out all the banged up, beat up, tortured Sunnis. Okay. That became the center of ISIS. See, there's a drum roll there. Is ISIS. Now, what does that stand for, Luca?
Israeli Secret Intelligence Service.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And they keep trying to change that name to hopefully everybody will forget. But that's what it stands for.
And
okay?
put in place by
what
the
did I
Big
hear?
Four. Put in place by the Big Four.
Okay, what? Oh, absolutely. All right. You remember who they are?
Joe Lieberman, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. John McCain. All right. And Lindsey Graham.
There you go.
Okay, we can't forget limp-wristed Lindsey Graham, can we? Okay. All right. So what we have now, okay, is a situation where these people are basically unstoppable. Okay. Now, where did this all go awry? I think it went awry. All right, with when the Israelis bombed the World Trade Center. Oh my goodness, did I say that? The Israelis bombed the World Trade Center. Okay, and of course, the Saudis paid for it. Oh, did I say that too? Okay. See, my phone's already ringing here. All right. So that's the response I'm getting. Okay, folks, there we have it. Okay. We have something that is basically unbelievable. All right. And it's hard to describe how I feel after knowing all of this from Iraq. Okay. Warning everyone that, yes, there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and they were part of the, what was it, the Carlyle Group? The Carlyle Group? Okay. Hey, I saw something really touching and moving, okay, the other day. What's his name? David Bernstein? David Bernstein, the CEO of the Carlyle Group. Gee, Bernstein? Does that mean he is Israeli? Oh, there we go again. Hey, folks, if you thought there was something sinister going on with the Carlyle Group, hey, stroke yourself. Give yourself a gold star, okay? Because, yes, the Israelis did do that. The Israelis did bring down the World Trade Center. Yes, Paul Bremer set up his fellow employees to be blown up in the World Trade Center, okay? There we have it, all right? So now, you have to ask yourself at this time, folks, do you really want to send your children, your loving children, okay, that you're responsible for, that are carrying your genetic codes, okay, do you really want to send them off to fight in North Korea or where? Fight Iran, all right? Okay, as I said, first of all, we need to clean up the courts, okay? The courts in this country are a disaster. You know how many members of that sit on high council, like judges, that are members of the CIA, that were actually appointed by the CIA, all right? And when a mass of these judges, I mean, several hundred, okay, have been appointed by either George Bush, either one of those clowns, okay,
Yeah.
or have been appointed by Obama, okay, or the Clintons. I got news. It's a huge amount, all right? Now, I want somebody to know what my next little intelligence download for all our listeners. Guess what? We have Nazis. Hey, you know, the last time I heard about a Nazi, okay, they were dragging each other around some old wooden World War II era dance floor in Argentina, okay? Well, no, it's not quite like that, right? RWE, right? Rhineland-Westphalia Electric, right? Deutsche Bank, okay? Right? Dresdner Bank, okay? I hope Dresdner's listening. I hope Deutsche is listening. Wasn't it the former vice president of Deutsche Bank who was working for the CIA, and what was it, on a stock call, he quadrupled his fortune. He already had a fortune, and he quadrupled it, betting on the fact that those two airlines would be involved in a terrorist strike. Okay, he knew about it. Okay, Deutsche Bank. All right, and Dresdner Bank. And also, here's one for all these Nazis that we have in our government, okay? We're talking second generation here, okay? I'll be fair, all right? Right? George H.W. Bush, okay? Hopefully, did you turn up the volume so George can hear that? George H.W. Bush, we really want to know in this country about all those Nazis in Alabama. Where did all those Nazis go from Operation Paperclip? Okay, all right. That's what I'm getting as of this week. So it's obviously very vital information. Okay, but also IG Farben. Okay, I hope everybody got that. Iggy Farben, IG Farben. Okay, I have a very interesting copy. Okay, it's a copy of a, what is it? A non-negotiable bearer bond, okay, drawn at Dresdner Bank, okay, and what it basically does, it is a non-negotiable bearer bond for $300,000, 1938. Okay, it was issued 1938, and its first purpose that it was supposed to be used for was to sponsor the actual buildup and construction of IG Farben, okay, and it was part of the same stock group that was going to be responsible for building up Rhineland-Westphalia Electric. Now remember all those dams on the Ruhr that were supposed to be destroyed and provided all the industrial power for the German machine. Okay, well, Fritz Tyson thought it was a good idea. Okay, that's Tyson as in Tysen. Okay, well, Mr. Bush, hey, and Great Papa Bush, you Nazi bastards. Okay, you're responsible. You're responsible for the Nazis and what they've done. You're responsible for getting Adolf Hitler out of Germany and letting him have a nice retirement in Patagonia, okay? You Nazi bastards. And your programs haven't gone by the wayside, all right? No, they haven't. In fact, I'm going to get a download on some more Nazi programs that you people started. You people, Okay.
Absolutely.
And the irony behind all that, you know who they really loved? These Nazi bastards. Okay. They really loved Chairman Mao. Well, wait, Chairman Mao, you say, what, is this guy flipped his lid, flipped his rocker? Uh-oh. Well, let me see. That's China, right? Chairman Mao, China. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, we need to do some revisionist history, all right, on what our relationship really is, Chairman Mao,
Mhm.
and Yale University's relationship with Chairman Mao. Okay. I hope everybody is listening now, okay, because it's about time. First of all, we got a decent president in there, one with a little bit of guts, one that has actually served in the military, so they know the terror and the horrors of war. We don't have this buffoon like we do in the Oval Office now that wants to start a fight with everybody. Oh, sounds like he's really been there himself and he knows what he's talking about, right?
Mhm.
We need to get some military people in there. Military people have fought wars, and as I said, I'm going to open up the show right now to the support Jesse Ventura for president. Okay, because the first thing he's going to do is straighten out the courts in this country. The courts. They are a disaster. They're an embarrassment in every sense of the word, and that is only good unless you have the goods on the court system. John Yoo, Jay Bybee, it goes on and on, folks. Okay, all right, and then who I'm going to recommend as his vice president. I've been doing some thinking about this, some deep thinking for our listeners. You know, it wasn't just some flippant choice that I decided on. Hey, write this name down: Anthony Schaefer, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer, the same man who told me 14 months before the World Trade Center was going to be attacked. Okay, he actually told several other people with me. All right, but it was going to be attacked. Who was going to do it? Who was responsible? How it was going to happen? The planes were going to be hijacked. All of this. And funny thing was, we could step out the back door of this Quonset hut where this briefing was taking place, and look across the valley. Okay, to the secret CIA airport. All right.
Mhm.
So this man knows what he's talking about. That's the kind of guts, that's the kind of knowledge, that's the kind of fortitude we need. No more of this, a favored son with a kleptocracy. Okay, we need to actually rebuild this country. We need to, and I'm saying this right now because this is the opening stage of the fight. We don't need any more phony baloney Obamas. Okay, the Manchurian candidate. Okay, we don't need some old cow that smells like cabbage and urine. Okay, that's Hillary, by the way. Okay,
Right.
no, this is it. This is a start on this show. This is the start of the draft. Jesse Ventura for president. Okay, and draft Anthony Schaefer for vice president. We are going to do it. And if you need any kind of background information to support my statement, now is the time to ask. So make sure you give them a point of contact, Luca, for anybody that has a question about any of the things I've said this evening. Okay, and I've said enough. I pointed to two massive massacres, okay, that have happened and engineered by our own agency that's supposed to be keeping us safe.
Right.
Okay, all right, and they're about to get us into a couple more wars just for good measure. Wink, wink.
Mhm.
So no more American kids slaughtered. All right, no more drugs being brought in. Okay, to support the agency. All right, we're going to bring in some people who know how to lead, that aren't afraid to lead, that actually got a real brass set. Okay, and that's where I want to start ending this show, because I really want you to put out the information how they can get in touch with us. All right,
Oh,
Luca?
they have information. They have the email, my phone number. They have all that at the end of the article on the Liberty Beacon.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay. Because in the next few weeks, we're going to see something absolutely horrendous. Okay. And on a closing note, if you have forgotten any of this, I want you to think about something. Anybody know what Alzheimer's is? Okay. Anybody know what Parkinson's is? It was, numerically speaking, statistically speaking, all right, it was very low at the turn of the century. Okay. Right. Because the population was also lower.
Hmm.
But something happened when the government started putting in something that was is very toxic to our systems. Okay. They knew it. They know it now. All right. And they're going to keep trying to put it in is fluoride.
Right.
Okay. Check out the relationship between fluoride and Alzheimer's.
Well,
Now,
we'll talk more about that on the next show, because there's also vaccines. It's exactly the same thing.
well,
So,
I didn't want to forget about this. Okay. That's why I'm doing at the tail end. I
yeah.
want everybody to think about that. Okay. All right. That's the cure for Alzheimer's is, hey, no more fluoride in the water. Okay. There it is, my friends. All right. Any questions? Call me. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Anybody from the agency, forget it. Okay. I don't need any crap or make believe storytelling. Okay. Or any homicidal executive action. Okay. So,
Absolutely.
anyway, there it is, my friends. Thank you, Luca. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much for being with us once again, and we'll tune in next time and we'll talk even juicier. It's getting better and better. And we have to remember also that on my closing note, it seems that they've been doing this all along. They've never cared for the people, and this is just a continuation. And now we can really see what they're doing, because now they lied about this, they lied about that, they lied about this. We're about here right now, so now we're starting to find out about way back. Oh, remember this? Oh, remember this? Oh, while we're there, remember this one? So it's like you're uncovering all kinds of dirt behind them, and they're leaving a trail that's leaving us right where we are now. So it's very obvious to people like you, Greg, uncovering everything. You've been through it. You know where the trail comes from, and it's pretty easy to see where it's going. So we're really blessed to have you along, and we thank
Okay.
you for everything.
Okay. Okay. Well, on a closing note, hey, in terms of this tax report, okay, hey, everybody send a note to Donald Trump this week and say, yeah, we'll vote for your tax reform bill when you show us your taxes. All right.
Exactly.
We want to see your taxes. There we go. Tie it this one. Thank you, Luca.
Have a good night.